All right. Welcome, everybody.
Hold on,
Hang on a minute.
just to make sure.
Still feel welcome, but hang on to that feeling for just a moment.
All right, we're good.
Okay. Welcome again. Welcome, everybody. For those of you that have already been taking classes, welcome back to this next one. And for those of you that are brand new and starting out with us, welcome to this class. We are super excited. This is the EDUC 5000 Foundations in Instructional Design class. And we are super excited to have you here with us. So I am going to share my screen. Hopefully I do this correctly. All right. Are you seeing the presentation? Okay, perfect. Okay. So just to start off, this is just here we are, week one, the very beginning, the very start. And I wanted to start off with this quote, which if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. That was kind of one of those that I'm like, okay, I needed to hear this quote this week. It has been kind of challenging, but I think it's a good thing. It's not bad to have those things that challenge you so that you can change, so you can grow, so that you can, do things better. And I think for me, it's just acknowledging that I can change in the way I react to things. That's kind of what came about for me. So, and I can choose to be a positive and happy person. Okay, so in a minute, I'm going to ask you this question. What has been your biggest challenge in 2021? So I want you to be thinking about this question as I talk about just some things that we have to take care of. So every single week we will have a Zoom seminar, and it's just best practice that when you join into the Zoom room that you mute your mic, and that if you do need to communicate, you can unmute and interrupt if you need to, if it's a burning question, or you can type into the chat. But otherwise, if you will just leave your mic muted, that really helps with, then we don't have like background noises happening or dogs barking or, just those things. It just helps with the meeting itself if you can keep your mic muted as we go through the seminar, unless you're communicating with us. So that's just kind of some little etiquette things. And then we do love to see you on camera, especially at the very beginning, or when we're like not doing a screen share. If we're just, talking, we do like to see your face. So if you would be willing to keep your camera on, we would love that. However, we do understand that sometimes you're in a situation where having your camera on is maybe not going to work, and that's fine too. We're not requiring that you have your camera on. It's just really nice for us to feel like we're not just talking at our screen, that we actually have people here that we're talking to. So just know that we like it when you have your cameras on. Okay, I'm going to have our instructors introduce themselves, and then we're going to come back to that question. So don't forget, what has been your biggest challenge in 2021? We'll come back to that question. So let's start off with Tony, if you wouldn't mind just introducing yourself.
Absolutely. My name is Tony Pellegrini. I'm a professor here at Southern Utah University. These are Old Main and our teacher education building where I work here on campus. I love working with teachers and love the opportunity to learn alongside you. Carol, I do not want to steal anyone's thunder, but could instructors tell our biggest challenge at the end? Students first, but will you come back around and let us, because I've got one I'd sure love to share, but I don't want to steal from students, okay?
Absolutely, that would be
Thank you.
great. Okay, Brandon, I don't think has joined us yet, but if and when he does, we'll allow him to introduce himself. I am Carol Neff. I work for Davis School District. And so for those of you that are in this class that are in Davis School District area, you're probably in my section of this course. And I love this course. I love all three of these courses that we teach. They're excellent courses, but this one is a really fun one to really get into those foundations. So I'm super excited for that. And let's see, Matt, why don't you go ahead?
Sounds good. My name is Matt Winters, and I work for UEN. I am a former ELA and instructional technology coach out of Weaver School District, and I'm just super excited to be here. The discussion tonight that we're going to have about learning and personal learning networks is one of my favorites to have with teachers. I do have to correct my Twitter bio down there, though. I am at Teacher Winners, not at Teach Winners. So I'm just going to throw that on there real quick. But I'm excited to be here, and thank you so much.
Okay, Clint.
Hey, everybody, Clint Stevens. I am, and I can kind of speak for Brandon if he doesn't make it tonight. He and I are both trainers, educational technology specialists at not rural, regional educational service agencies. Mine is Southwest Educational Development Center. Brandon is from Central Utah. So I take care of folks in Southwest Utah. So Beaver, Iron, Washington, Millard, Garfield, Kane counties, and Brandon has a bunch of those in Central Utah, Juab, Sevier, San Pete, Wayne, those kind of counties that way. So happy to be here. These are great classes.
Hey, thank you. All righty. So back to the quote. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. And now I'm going to ask the question. So I'm hoping that there will be some brave souls that will be willing to come off mute and talk to us about what has been your biggest challenge in 2021.
I can go. My name is Katie, if you guys can hear me, and I teach elementary school, and my biggest challenge for 2021 has been staying motivated to be a teacher, to be honest, which is kind of scary to admit, but this year is looking up and I'm having some better vibes from this year, and yeah, that's where we're at.
Thank you, Katie. I appreciate you being brave.
My name's Derek Loveland, and I am on my phone because I can't get the video. I don't know if the video is working or not, but my biggest challenge is I have a new position in the school district. I'm a new STS, and that has been a big challenge, which is why I'm running late tonight and barely getting here.
Welcome, Derek. Good luck in your new position.
Thank you.
Carol, we have a couple from the chat as well. Ms. Crawford says, I'm first year of teaching and student teaching at the same time. I would say that's a huge challenge right there. And Holly says,
Starting an endorsement.
yeah, during an endorsement as well. Holly says, currently in my second year, however, due to a large turnover of teachers at my school, I'm now a mentor for 2 new teachers. Wow. Those are some heavy struggles right there.
Yeah, those are really big challenges. Good luck to both of you as well. That's awesome and amazing. And I'm sure you'll rise to the challenge for sure, but that's big stuff.
I think my biggest challenge this year kind of goes along with last year, just trying to keep 6-year-olds apart. Social distancing doesn't work with 6-year-olds.
Yeah, they don't quite understand, I think, all the way, do they?
I'll go. My challenge doesn't necessarily have to do with teaching, but this summer I moved homes, and that was very stressful. I got plenty of anxiety from it. I have officially moved, so I have less stress, but we moved the week before school started. So there was a lot of craziness happening. So yeah, that's me.
Well, thankfully you're now into your house and you can start to get settled. But yeah, that's kind of crazy to do right the week before school. So awesome. Okay, anybody else?
We've got a couple more from the chat. Yun says, I taught in-person students and also needed to prepare online lessons for online students in the last school year. So doing online and face-to-face teaching, that's a hard one right there. Natalie also adds in keeping kids and getting kids on schedules. That's always a struggle with students.
Yeah, for sure. Tony, I think you wanted to share, and then any of the other instructors.
Absolutely. This is the first week for our UEN class, but for SUU, it's our first week as well, too. So this last couple of weeks, I've been inboarding students and principals, and what I am hearing almost is a lot of what I've heard here about anxiety, stress, the fact that, oh my goodness, districts are asking us to do program A, B, C, and D to catch up and keep up from things that our learners have missed last year. And we're just not Superman. We can't jump that single bit or that tall building in a single bound. I need 2 or 3 bounds to get there. And so I guess, yes, it's mine too, but just want to vocalize, my heart goes out to educators. I know, administration wants us to show those gains, and we want to show those gains, but we want to do that within the human abilities that we do have. So I'm not putting anyone down. I'm just saying, hang in there. You can do this. To everyone that's spoken up here, you can make these things happen. Eat this whale one bite at a time. We'll get through it with you, okay?
Thank you for those wise words, Tony. One bite at a time, for sure. Okay, let me move on here. Just to let you know, every single week will have a seminar on Thursday at 4 o'clock in this Zoom room. Why do we have a weekly seminar? The main reason is we want to be able to connect with you, kind of let you know what's coming up, and allow you a chance to ask questions about what's happening within the online course. You are not required to attend, but you are responsible for the information that we cover during the seminar, which is why we record it, so that you can review that video if you weren't able to attend in person. The other thing is that we have reading and some supplemental reading that happens each week. In this particular class, you do not have to purchase a book unless you want to, but the reading that we have and also the supplemental reading is actually in the Canvas course in PDF form. So you're able to read everything that you need for this course within the Canvas course without having to purchase something. We also, and that reading will help you with your assignments each week. We also have a discussion every week. And in that discussion, there are some options that you have, but one thing we don't want to have as optional, if at all possible, is we want you to post your original post to the discussion by Sunday, and then make sure that you reply back to at least 2 other people by the next Wednesday. That's when the due date is every Wednesday. So if anything at all, try to keep up on the discussions, because the point of the discussions is that you are discussing and talking with each other. And so if we can kind of abide by those, post by Sunday, your initial post, so that you have time to reply up to that Wednesday due date, that will be helpful for everybody in the class if you can follow that. And then we have assignments every week. Those are due by the next Wednesday of each week. And then everything is due by the end of week 12, which in this class, I want to say is December 1st. Is that correct? I think that's when it is. Okay, we'll check on that for sure. But I think that's when it is. So everything will be due by then. So this very first week of class, the topic that we're going through is introductions, so that you introduce each other to each other. And then we want to establish a personalized or a personal learning network. So that's kind of our topic that we're going over. The reading this week is chapter 1 in Understanding the Power of PLNs. And like I said, that is a PDF within the Canvas course itself. So just read through that chapter 1. That will help you both with the discussion and the assignment that you're doing this week. The discussion is establishing your personal learning network and introduction. So there's kind of 2 discussions that will happen. So one is where you will introduce yourself to your peers in your course. The other one is where you will create and share your Twitter or Facebook or Google or, whatever it is that's your personal learning network. You're going to post that so that we can all connect with each other. That's also an assignment. And the reason for that is in the discussion, we want you to be able to do that with your peers. But then in the assignment, that helps us as instructors to know, okay, you've completed this and we can mark you off for that. So it does seem like you're doing the same thing twice. You are, but just do it because then that's the way you can get credit for it. Okay. So hopefully I explained that okay. And then the seminar, of course, you're here today, or you might be watching this as a recorded session later. So that will be there. So every single week, that's what you will see in the Canvas course. And actually, let me see if I can pull that up really quick. Okay. So this is what our Canvas course looks like when you come to the home page. And then when you click into the modules, you can see how it's laid out. So each week, you'll see the overview page, and then you'll see the reading, and then you'll see where we put the Zoom seminar and the slides from the seminar. You'll see the discussions, and then your assignment. So it's just kind of laid out like this every single week. So hopefully that's helpful to everybody. Okay. Next. Where do you look for educational resources? So if you have a specific place that you look, go ahead and put that in the chat. What are some of the places that you look for educational resources? I know for me, I use UEN resources a lot. They really do a good job of putting together resources. The other thing that I look at a lot is the USET newsletter that comes. They also have lots of resources in that. So those are just a couple of mine off the top of my head. So hopefully people have shared in the chat. Matt, do you want to let us know what people said in the chat?
Yeah, so a few of the same things. So we have UEN a couple times, which yes, love saying that. Side note, shout out to the new Google Hub on eMedia. Yeah. We got Pinterest and Facebook and Teachers Pay Teachers. Other teachers, which I love that one. That's one of my favorite ones, is working with other teachers and learning about that, and colleagues. Twitter, Facebook PLNs, and Tony dropped the link for the USET newsletter from today. So thank you so much for that, Tony.
Awesome. So see, this is great. We already have a great list going on where we can look for this. So this is a graphic that I don't remember who put this in, if it was Clint or Brandon or Tony put this graphic in. Anyway, I really like it because it was kind of neat to see how it was organized as far as there's social networks, there's professional networks, educational networks, and then the leisure and entertainment, and kind of how you can organize those. And some of them overlap. Because I know for me, Facebook, I find lots of resources on Facebook, but it's also kind of a personal network for me as well. Twitter is what I use almost exclusively for educational purposes. I don't end up using Twitter for personal, and that was just a choice for me. But I really kind of liked this graphic and how it just laid it out and made me kind of think through what it is that I use. And how I use it and where I get my information. So as you go into this week, the discussion, the assignment, it's all around this type of thing. So hopefully this little bit of a discussion on it will help you as well. And then I just wanted to bring out really important thing that you should join in whenever you can. And that's the Utah Ed Chat. I wish we had Jared Covilli on here today, but we don't, do we? Dang it. He could talk to us about it. But either Clint or Matt, do you have anything to say about Utah Ed Chat?
I can talk to it if you'd like. So it is every Wednesday night from 9 to 10-ish p.m. On Twitter, you just do a search for that hashtag UT Ed Chat. And then about 9 o'clock, our facilitator will put out, Q1, ask a question, you reply with A1, and follow those responses and kind of follow that chat asynchronously. I'll post a link to the Utah or the USAT website that has a list of the upcoming topics. We had one just last night. I didn't join in, and maybe Matt could speak to how it went last night, but it was just kind of we're back kind of a chat kind of a thing. Were you there last night, Matt?
I absolutely was. We had between 20 and 30 educators from all over the state of Utah and a few from beyond the state of Utah. And that's pretty normal. You'll get to meet people from all over the United States, all over the world. And it just broadens your perspective on what's going on. Last night, we talked about upcoming challenges in the school year, things that we were excited about with innovation, how we were connecting with other educators. And it just opens up a lot of pathways and doors that I personally never really thought about when I started doing Utah Ed Chat, and even some now that I don't really think about too often. And so it's been, I definitely recommended to do Utah Ed Chat at least once in a while to connect with people in Utah who are educators who have similar thought processes to you, and to build off and really get a community going around yourself.
Yeah, I second that. I actually set an alarm on my phone to remind me it's 9 o'clock on Wednesday night. I need to get on Twitter and jump in to the Utah Ed Chat. And every time I've learned amazing things. So it really is awesome. I can't do it all the time, but when I can, I certainly try to jump in. So hopefully you will also join in with us now that you know about it. Okay, so something important we want to let you know. We know that life happens. If you will just let us know if you're going to be late on getting an assignment in. One thing we want to reiterate is that the discussions are hard to be late on, because then it doesn't create a discussion. So try your very best to keep up with the discussions. Try to get one in at least by Sunday. If nothing else, keep up on the discussions. However, we do understand. We don't want you to get so far behind, though, that it's hard to catch up. So typically we will, contact you, find out, okay, what's going on? You're kind of far behind. So, but do your best to catch up. But we also know things happen, but just let us know. This is a graded course because this goes on a transcript for Southern Utah State University. That's how you will get credit for this course. So we want to make sure that you're able to do all of the things that you need to do to be able to get the grade, to get that on your transcript and receive credit for this course. Okay.
The chat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, Carol. We had a great question. Tina would like to know, can we work ahead on assignments and our modules unlocked for use earlier than we would normally cover in the semester?
Okay, so we do have the modules open, I think 2 weeks in advance. Is that right, Clint? So
Yeah,
you can work ahead up to 2 weeks ahead in the course, and you'll see which ones are open. If you go in today, you'll see the first 2 weeks are completely open, and so you can do the first 2 weeks. And then the next week will open. So it'll always be 2 weeks ahead that you can work in the course.
This
so yeah,
week plus 2.
There you go.
So you'll have 3 weeks open at a time. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's just so that you can stay kind of current with the discussions. We really don't want somebody to post a discussion, then a month later respond to it, just so we can kind of keep those discussions more cohesive.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Okay.
I mentioned something. Go back to that last slide.
Okay.
Please. Let's see.
this one or?
Of course, get caught up. Something came to my mind. It'll come back. Go ahead.
Okay, we'll come back to you. Okay, so in this course, there is a final project that will be due at the end of week 12. And like I said, I think it was December 1st. Hopefully somebody clarified that. We're good. Okay, December 1st.
First is it. Yep.
Everything is due for this class. And one of those things is this course project. It's a unit plan, and I've connected here. If you click on the links that are in the slide deck that's in Canvas, you also can see this in the actual assignment for the course project will be these links. So there's a Word doc template, there's an alternative one, and then there's a Google Doc template. You can choose whichever of those you want to use to put together this unit. But also know, I want to say it's in week 3 or 4 that we actually create the cover page. And then from that point on, we continue to add to each of the things that will complete this unit plan. And so you can take a look at those documents today so you can kind of see what's coming up. But just know each week, your assignment will be to add to this particular unit plan to complete your course project. But you might want to look at that now so you kind of have an idea and think of things that you want to do as you look into that. Okay, so we're to the questions part. Any other questions, thoughts, comments, anything?
I remembered what I was going to mention. So yeah, will you go back to slide 13?
Yes.
You said, make sure you'd let us know if you're going to be late. How do you know which one of us is the ones you need to know? In the Canvas course, look under the People tab. It'll list all of the people in the course, and one of our 5 names will be tagged as your instructor, as the teacher of the course. And so most likely if you're in Southwest Utah, you're in Clint's. If you're anywhere in the state, you're in Matt's. If you're in Davis, you're in Carroll's. But just look for those, and you can email us through Canvas or through phone call here. We'll always have our phone numbers and stuff in the weekly slides. So just figure out who's your teacher and reach out.
Okay, any other questions?
All right, Carol, we got one from David. Do discussions have to be in a tech form?
So I think in this course, somebody's gonna have to remind me for sure. I think in this course, they are video response. Or is this the one where they choose? I always forget. I think this is video response.
The first, your initial response needs to be what's called like an enhanced discussion entry. Carol, if you go to the course and go to the first discussion.
Okay.
In the class. So each week in the discussion, video reflective discussion. So there'll be a guideline there that says expectations and exceptional response considerations. And that'll have ideas on, different ways. You can always use the Canvas video recorder, but if you want to, this is your time to experiment and to fail forward and to learn how to try to do something new. You've probably had a lot more experience than most of our teachers did 2 years ago, as far as, recording yourself and creating videos for your students and stuff like that. But it's just an opportunity for you guys to try something new and to check out new tools and to use those kind of enhanced response questions. So it doesn't always have to be you talking. It can be, a Canva or something text-based or just something enhanced. It is like the past courses, yes. Yep.
Yes.
All right, we have another question from Eric. I had a question regarding credit for this course. The registration page states it'll work for either SUU or USB credit. However, during the credit request quiz, it says that this is only for SUU. What should I do if I'm not registered with SUU?
Okay, you don't have to be registered with SUU. You are in this course. And when you complete this course, you will fill out a form that you will then send to SUU, and then that will give
Online.
you. Oh, yes.
Online.
Thank you. there will be instructions on how to online fill out the form with the SUU and fill out what you need to fill out and get that credit posted to a transcript through SUU. So you don't have to worry about registering for SUU, but at the end, when you've completed the course, then there's steps to walk you through how to do that online so that you get the credit.
Still register, you just don't have to be pre-registered.
Right.
With the course. Yeah. Good question.
I am going to add, I'm in my version of the class, and there is a form, Canvas quiz at the very beginning. It does look like it only says credit, would you like SUU? This might be something that we've got to make sure.
It's
Check
kind
with
of
Justin.
a boilerplate, yeah, that we had before.
Yeah.
Check with Justin. I know he's been working with the professional development people down here.
If you're doing it for the endorsement, it needs to be on a university transcript, and we work through SUU. So you'll be getting SUU credit if you want. If you're just taking this for fun and not working towards the endorsement, then you don't have to worry about the SUU part. And it's cheap credit. It's $23 a credit. So each one of these courses will be $69.
$69, yep.
All right, we have another question from Natalie. When we write for this course, do we prefer APA style or another style for writing?
Yeah, APA is what we like to see. That's I know in the rubric and some of the rubrics you'll see that it will ask for APA style. I don't know that we're like super sticklers on the APA style, but get it as much as possible. Try to follow the APA style and do your best at doing APA style.
Just cite your sources.
Yeah, make sure you cite your sources. Other questions? All right. I know Tony wanted to say a little bit at the end here. So I'll turn it over to him, and thank you all for joining in. We appreciate you being here today.
Absolutely. And thank you, Carol. We love your leadership and love your engagement. It's a lot of fun when you get to teach. I just want to take a moment. Clint and Carol had both visited with you about getting this on your transcripts so that you can apply for these classes for your EdTech endorsement. At Southern Utah University, if you've not earned your master's degree and you'd like to earn your master's degree, these 9 hours, the 3 classes you'll be taking, will count at the 5,000 level at $23 a credit hour towards the electives in your Master's of Education at here at Southern Utah University. If you'd like more information on that, I would love to, please reach out to me. I would love to be able to connect with you and provide you the support that you need associated with that. That's kind of an ongoing thing. This year, because of some CARES money, this fall, because of some CARES money that SUU has received, I'm going to put a link down here in the chat. We do have $1.5 million to help students pay their tuition for the rest of the classes. Your master's at SUU is 33 hours, 9 of which can be these elective classes. If you are interested in looking at this, these get some of the guidelines associated with the tuition assistance scholarship and the contact. I'm not seeing some contact on here. So if you would like to follow through and apply for that, apply for the program, we would send me your information, and I promise I'll get you in touch with the names of those who are coordinating these scholarships. And so I think it was Matt said earlier, free tuition, that's not a bad deal. That's better than a kick in the pants, and it is. We're not forcing you upon us. Just as I started this conversation at the very beginning, we know you're under stress. I do not want to put any more stress on you than you want to have and that you need to have. But this is kind of a little window of opportunity that I just wanted to make you aware of, so you didn't come back to me 6 months from now and say, Tony, why didn't you tell me about that? I at least shared with you. Any questions, any concerns with that I can help you with before we let you go? Please, Shane, I see your hand.
Yeah. This tuition, is it the same as the 300?
It is not. The tuition for the class is around $1,000 a class.
Okay.
For the rest of the masters, okay? Not
Perfect.
for these elective classes, just like Clint said, they're $23 a credit hour for these 9 hours. But
Okay.
the research classes, the core classes and the masters, they're about $1,000 a piece.
Okay. I was wondering because they're doing something for the COVID. There was like a 300 that they'll deduct off of that. So this is on top of that as well.
Yes, this is really on top of that. Thank you so much. Great questions. Please.
I'm just reading this right here. Do we have to fill out a FAFSA?
You will need to fill out a FAFSA, and let me, give me just a second to just put his email in here. That's something that I can absolutely do, because I know Levi's got my price at SUU.edu. I'm going to put Levi's email in here, Levi Price at SUU.edu. Please reach out to Levi with those specific questions. Natalie, I am the department chair for teacher education, so I can help you with the content, with the information in the classes, with instructors, with the times, all of those things. But when it comes down to scholarships and admissions, you really need to work with Levi to get those specific questions answered. I'm sorry, I can't be that specific with it. Okay, Natalie?
Yeah, that's okay. But so it's based upon finance and financial need, isn't it?
It is, and it's really, again, CARES Act money for individuals who maybe had to put a pause on their life experience because of COVID over the last couple of years and need an opportunity to catch up and keep up, kind of like I shared with poor teachers and principals that are struggling with that right now, to make things happen in their students' lives. The legislature and the federal government have provided some money to help teachers do this as well too. Does that help, Natalie? Please keep them coming.
Yeah, and also I was looking for the link to apply for the graduate program, and I just can't find that link.
I can help you with. Let me see if I can share my screen. Give me just a second here. And if you will go to just simply SUU.edu. Up here in the top, do you see this little flashy sign up here? It's okay. My wife says, how come you can't find the butter in the fridge, Tony? Anyway, if you'll click on that, and then if you'll go through these, this process here, it will take you step by step through all of that. Okay.
Okay.
Levi will be able to help you as well too.
Okay. Thank you.
You are welcome. Let me stop sharing here. Gotta find the right buttons. Great questions. Any others I can help with?
We had a really good one from the chat, Tony.
Please.
Catherine wanted to know if she already has a master's in music education. Is there any reason why she couldn't get a second one in just education?
Absolutely none whatsoever. Again, give Levi a call. Make sure that you can apply for that. If you can, he gives you the go ahead and do that. It's going to, I would think even in districts, there's got to be a master's plus 15 lane change, or a master's plus 30, or master's plus 45. That free tuition would only help you on the lane changes. But again, each case is particular and unique. So check with your district and see what those are. But I can't imagine why you wouldn't, or why it wouldn't help you. We're all lifelong learners. And if you can afford that, or if you get a scholarship like this, and it doesn't stress you out too much, make it happen.
Tony, can you clarify something for me?
I'll try.
Okay. I was just looking at the flyer.
Yes.
It said to qualify, you must meet the following.
Okay.
And it says did not enroll in college courses for the 2021 school year.
That is the purpose of this CARES money, is to try to pull back people in who, because of the COVID year, kind of took a break from everything and said, I've got to deal with my students. I'm not going to be taking classes, or I've got to. So if for our students who are kind of halfway through a master's program, they're not going to be able to qualify for this, Shane. Does that make sense? This is for new individuals who have kind of taken a break. That's the purpose of the grant money, was to kind of get people started back into their lifelong learning opportunities.
So like for me, I started in the spring, or over the summer. This way, I would not qualify for this.
I'm sorry, but it's worth a phone call or an email to Levi. Make him tell you no. Okay, Shane, make him tell you no. If it tells you hell no, you try again next year.
Tony, we had one other question from the
Please.
chat. Angela would
Please.
like to know if you can put the link to the scholarship application in the chat.
I apologize, Angela. I don't have that, but would you please email Levi? And I promise he will get back to you. I got this information from Levi. He said, share this information, Tony. And so I'm going to sick you on him, okay? And you can always say, Tony told me you'd have an answer. He didn't have an answer, but he said you'd have an answer. So please throw me under the bus, please, okay? Carol, if there's any other questions, I'm happy to answer. I don't want to shut it down, but I don't want to keep you away from dinner and your families, friends. We want to keep you moving and shaking.
Looks like we're good. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining in this week. We'll see you next Thursday at 4 o'clock, right back here in Clint's Zoom room.
Yep. Tony's leading next week.
I'm leading next week. I'll be the Carol wannabe next week, okay?
Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Welcome to the class. Reach out if you need help.
Please don't be
Good to
shy.
see
Take care, folks.